Alright, this is John Cola with OKRaw.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. In this episode, I'm going to show you guys actually the best way to juice celery without a juicer or even a blender. So you guys are probably watching this because you guys found Anthony William, the medical medium, and the amazing power of celery. You guys have been reading all about it. You guys have been reading all the testimonials of people that have been doing it and all the health benefits and healings that people have been getting. And I think it is totally great, right? And, in this episode, I want to share with you guys actually how you guys could do without a juicer or blender, but also, more importantly, educate you guys about why juicing and blending may be good or bad, right? And there's pros and cons to every method of juicing celery, and you're going to have to wait to the end of this episode where I'm going to tell you guys how to juice it actually for free without having to buy anything or use any appliances, which is totally amazing. My videos tend to get pretty long, so I'm going to try to keep this one pretty short and sweet. I have other videos dedicated to some of the topics that I'm talking about in this episode. I'll put links in the description below to a video on the best juicer for juicing celery, the differences between blending and juicing, vacuum blending versus slow juicing, which is better. So check the links down below for all my videos on that. So anyways, on with this video. So celery, very important food to get into. Now, why is celery so beneficial, right? And I'm going to start here because I want you guys to fully understand what I've learned now and I have been implementing in my life now for the past 23 years. Since 1995, I've been living on a fruit and vegetable dominated diet, actually fairly similar to what the medical medium would recommend, although I do things a little bit differently. And I have gotten so many amazing benefits, and I've learned through the School of Hard Knocks all the things I do. So I'd encourage you guys actually to, before you leave, check that little subscribe button down below. Make sure you click the little bell so you get notified of my new and upcoming episodes I have coming out in every 5 to 7 days. You never know where I'll show up or what advanced topic information you'll be learning so that you guys could get healthier on my YouTube channel. And be sure to check my past episodes. My past episodes are a wealth of knowledge. Over 500 episodes on this at this time. Teach you guys all about the power of fresh fruits and vegetables and how to dial in your diets so you guys can be as healthy as possible. All right? So with that, why is celery so good for you, right? Well, celery is a magical vegetable. No, it's not from the land of gnomes or the Hobbit. But what it is, it's an amazing vegetable because it has properties in there that are not available in any other vegetable. Every plant has different phytonutrients and phytochemicals, vitamins and minerals, and enzymes and water and things. So it's these nutrients in the celery that are so important to us, right? And we want to get these in us in the easiest way our bodies could digest. And, I don't know why Anthony William says celery juice specifically, but I can tell you that, eating celery is not the same as celery juice. And I'll also be honest with you guys, I'm considered a juicing expert. I'm the #1 independent retailer for juicers online. I have over 500 videos on my other YouTube channel, once again, links down below, dedicated to sharing with you guys all the different juices on the market, and each one has its pros and cons. But anyways, when you juice the celery, you basically remove some of the fiber, not all the fiber, but some of the fiber, so now your body could relatively easily absorb and get the nutrition out of the food. As Jay Kordich, formerly known as the Juice Man, taught me many years ago, it's the juice of the fiber that feeds you in the fruits and vegetables. And, especially with people having compromised digestive systems and whatnot, it's just not really good to chew and eat celery properly because you may not get all the nutrients out of it. In addition, if you're just eating celery whole, you're not going to get and not going to be able to eat the volume that you would if you juiced it. I could juice 2 heads of celery and I could drink the juice out of it, but I couldn't sit here and eat 2 whole heads of celery. That'd just be way too much to eat. So that's the benefit of juicing. Now, there's many ways to juice, right? Just like there's many ways of different kinds of shoes, right? And different shoes are better or worse for certain things, and certain juicers are better or worse for certain things. The most common type of juicer is this juicer. This is called the Breville high-speed juicer. If you go to your local department store, most juicers are high-speed juicers. They spin really fast. The main problem I see with this is that it basically puts a lot of oxygen into the juice, which means you are breaking down some of the valuable nutrients that you hope to be getting some of the benefits from out of your celery. So, when you juice celery, you get structured water, you get enzymes, you get vitamins and minerals, and more importantly, the phytochemicals. So, Certain things will be affected by the high-speed running juicer, and certain things will not. Minerals probably not that badly affected, but the phytonutrients, in my opinion, and the antioxidants are going to be really diminished in a high-speed blender, all right? Next is, the high-speed juicer. Next is the blending, right? Blending, in my opinion, is probably even worse than high-speed juicing, because literally when you put the celery in the juicer, it hits the blades, the juice is ejected, and then the pulp gets out. When you're putting it in the blender blades are spinning around, and in this case it's a Vitamix at 20,000 RPMs, and then that basically does multiple hits on the produce, basically turning your celery juice really dark green, which is a sign of oxidative damage to the juice, which once again lowers the nutrition. Plus then you have to sieve it out, strain it out, which could be a really big drag, right? Now the new invention in blending, aside from the standard Vitamix, which is actually I'll be offering really soon, is the vacuum blending technology. So you will have a carafe here, and then actually you will have a special vacuum pump. So before blending, you'll suck out the excess oxygen out of the carafe and blend in there, right? And in this way, because the oxygen is inside when you're blending, you're not going to basically bombard all the fibrous cell walls and all the nutrients that have been exposed to oxygen because it's been basically sucked out. So this is definitely a better way to do things. That being said, I would still prefer to use a slow juicer rather than the even vacuum blender to make my celery juice. So if you want really the best juicer in terms of yield and quantity and quality of the juice, then you're going to want to go with the juicer like this. This is called the Green Star Pro. You could also get the Green Star Elite. The con of this machine is that it is quite expensive and they do take a little bit longer to clean, right? Now, if you just want a much better juicer than the high-speed juicer or even using a blender, then I would recommend this. This is a low-cost option. This is the Shine juicer. This is the best low-cost juicer that we sell at discountjuicers.com. To Juice Celery, I'll put a link down below to a video that I made juicing celery when I travel. This is the juicer that I take when I travel, but you can use this at home as well. You know, if you're not going to do any super major juice fast and you're just going to juice 16 ounces a day like the medical medium recommends, all right? So that being said, that's some of the different ways you guys could juice. Once again, links down below. Now I want to get into actually how you guys could juice celery without any of these appliances. All right, so before I show you guys actually how to juice celery without a juicer, without a blender, without anything, I do want to let you guys know about some of the technical data on some of the results I've seen when processing things in a juicer versus a blender versus a vacuum blender, all right? So basically, in a slow juicer, you're going to maintain the most nutrition in terms of some of the different cancer-fighting abilities. For example, when they tested broccoli, this is a scientific, proven, journal-published study. And then also comparing standard blending to vacuum blending, right? In standard blending, you'd lose 2.5 times to 3 times, depending on the antioxidant, certain polyphenols and or antioxidant vitamins, such as vitamin C, for example. Also, vitamin A can be, destroyed by the high spinning blade that's constantly being cut. Now, the reason why, in my opinion, these technologies, the blenders and the juicers, degrade more or less nutrition is because one of the things is the speed and how many times the produce is being contacted. For example, right, if somebody knocks me once, I might get knocked out. I might have a little bruise. It's probably going to go away pretty fast. But if somebody sits there and knocks me like a lot, like hits me a lot, it's going to be a lot more damage. And the thing is, when you're processing celery in a blender, you're literally hitting it with the blade 20,000 times, causing a lot more damage. So, what we want to do really is provide the least amount of damage to the celery while extracting the juice. And the best way to do this, in my opinion, is with our God-given, if you believe in God, or nature-given, whoever you believe in, juicers that we are given free and clear. It's our teeth, silly! And so I made the recommendation for somebody that I was talking to on the phone the other day that, I was recommending them the Shine inexpensive juicer, and she's like, that's just too much. And I'm like, well, you know what? Honestly, you don't need a juicer to juice. And yes, this is from a guy that's probably the #1 most watched juicer video production guy online. I'm telling you guys, you don't need a juicer because you got your teeth. But you need to use your teeth. The problem is people don't want to use their teeth. They don't want to take 2 hours to chew up their dinner. They want to be done now. And, while you can sit and take celery and chew it, I'm chewing it carefully, as I'm chewing it, the juice is coming out into my mouth. I'm swallowing only the juice. The pulp is staying in my mouth. But I'm not swallowing the pulp. I'm only swallowing juice. This does take a little bit of thinking. When I'm chewing, I'm sucking all the pulp out. I mean, all the juice out. And then I can spit out the pulp. And this is basically what the juicer does, right? So you don't really even need a juicer to juice your celery. That being said, taking a mouthful of celery, chewing it up, and then spitting out the pulp can take a long time, but I know some of you guys have more time than money, right? And that's great. You guys could use your mouth, and actually there's something to be said about using our mouth to eat our produce instead of using equipment, right? And the reason is this. When we start chewing and moving our mouth, it kind of enacts and actually mixes saliva with our food. It actually enacts and enables our digestive system to work more efficiently. This is how we were designed to smell the food and salivate because I'm smelling the celery. How many of you guys would salivate truly if you guys were had a dead animal in front of you that was rotten? Would you salivate, but you guys are yet, putting dead animals inside you, which I do not encourage and do not believe is healthy. Whereas, this lady told me ew, that's gross, chewing celery to juice it and spitting out the pulp. Celery is a natural food. It's a plant food. It's an amazing food. You may have to get, a taste for it and get used to it by eating it for a while. But it's so good for you. So yeah, juicing it with your mouth is the best way. And when you start moving your mouth and chewing, you get your digestive system ramped up. So even if you are juicing celery or even blending it and straining it, which I do not recommend by any means, you want to simulate that you are chewing it. So put the juice in your mouth, chew your juice, make movements like you're chewing it. In addition, maybe don't take as long as it would take you to, chew up and extract the juice in your mouth of the celery, which might be an hour to make 16 ounces. But you should swish it around in your mouth, make that chewing motion, and savor it for a little bit before just I'm just going to plug my nose and chug it down because it tastes so nasty or whatever, right? I mean, while it's going to be in you and getting celery juice in you is better than getting coffee in you or a Coke in you, right? I want you guys to have the best experience and the most probability of success when eating the fruits and vegetables. And these are the tips that I give you that I've only learned over the last 30 years. And you probably guys aren't going to hear this anywhere else. People are just going to tell you to use a high-speed juicer or blend it. It's all the same. It's not all the same. I'll definitely tell you guys that. So yeah, if you guys don't want to chew up and spit out your pulp like I just did, let me show you guys a better alternative than using a blender to make your celery juice. Alright, so now I want to show you guys actually a better way to juice celery than with a blender is with a food processor. You're like, wait a second, John, food processors don't juice. Well, yeah, neither do blenders. Really, juicing is separating the fiber from the pulp, and it's the juice from the fiber that feeds you, according to Juice Man, right? And even when you're juicing, you are getting some of the soluble fiber that literally dissolves in water or is soluble in water. So I want you guys to remember that. Anyways, I would recommend actually food processing and then squeezing in a nut milk bag. And today I'm using a Magimix food processor by Robocoop, which is commercial high-end, made in France. And then we got the rawsomecreations.com nut milk bag. If you don't want to get a good high-quality nut milk bag like the one I like to use, then you could just go to a local paint store and get a paint strainer that looks kind of similar, but they're literally pretty cheap. They're also gonna, probably not last too long either, like this nice high-quality nut milk bag. So the reason why I like the food processing instead of the blending is because literally, just like when we're chewing, we're doing it at a low RPM. In the food processor, literally the celery is gonna hit the blade, and we are using the shredding disc here. And so here's the thing, this is the shredding disc, not the slicing disc, the shredding disc, and we are not using the S-blade. The S-blade is no different than basically using a high-speed blender to juice. So we want to use the slicing blade that literally will cut up the celery and emulate what our teeth would be doing at a low speed, and this is going to minimize the oxidative damage to some of the phytonutrients inside the celery. Alright? So I guess without further ado, let's just go ahead and hit start. And we're going to feed the celery in. So we were basically done in no time in this basically commercial quality, home-based food processor here. It basically sliced that celery like like nobody's business, like super simple, super easy. I mean, it left some few shreds in there, but we're just gonna go ahead and scoop this out. Now basically we have a whole bunch of shredded celery that we could eat, but instead of eating, what we're going to do is we're just going to basically put it in our nut milk bag. So this is a technique you may see with blending, but the difference once again between blending and processing like this is that the blade is only hitting the celery once, right? It's not multiple hits. So if you guys look at this, and if I did it in a blender, you guys can see the celery is pretty much the same color as when I put it through the machine. If you do this same thing in the blender with the same color celery, it would turn a lot deeper brown. That's a sign of oxidation. That's like if you cut up an apple, it turns brown. That's oxidative damage. You're losing some of the valuable phytonutrients. That being said, in apples anyways, a lot of the nutrients are actually in the skin, actually, that coloring pigment in the skin. Yeah, but anyways, let's go ahead and move on. So we're basically just pouring all this shredded celery into my nut milk bag. And now what we get to do is we're just going to juice it and squeeze it out. So here's the thing. Like, John, I don't have a commercial food processor to use. That's all right. You guys use a home food processor. And when you're choosing the shredding disc to use, try to get the smaller shreds. Inexpensive food processors may only have like one size. Hey, whatever size you got. But if you have an option of a smaller size, use a smaller size. It's going to be more efficient. And as you guys can see, I'm not even squeezing this out yet. And I have actually nice celery juice that's a nice bright, vivid color. Now, as I wring this celery juice out, you can see the celery juice coming out a lot different than if I was to blend this same mixture up. Now, maybe if I vacuum blended, it might be a similar color, but even on the vacuum blender, you are removing air when processing, but you're still having lots of multiple hits on the produce. So literally you just have to pretend you're like milking a cow or something. We're just gonna go ahead and wring this out and wring out all the celery juice. Now, here's the other thing. So if you don't even have a food processor, right, that's all right. Get one of those graters, the old-fashioned graters to shred carrots up on your salad, those grater boxes. They're pretty expensive. Some dollar stores have graters. You can buy one for $1. And then you got to grate your celery, hand grate your celery, once again, smallest size possible. And that's going to take some time, I'm not going to lie. But, once again, this is all about me teaching you guys how to do this for free or cheap and get the highest quality celery juice so you guys could get the most benefits and you're giving your body the most benefits and you'll have the highest probability of chance of healing. I myself am only here today because I healed myself from a life-threatening illness. I had spinal meningitis caused by complement immune deficiency, and when I was younger, I almost lost my life. And I don't want this to happen to you. Part of my mission, one of my goals in life is to spread the knowledge, the best of what I know. I don't hold anything back. I don't have a membership fee, site to charge you for extra information. All my videos go out the best of what I know so that you guys can get the highest benefits. And, nobody shows how to make celery in a food processor, celery juice in a food processor. And I'm only showing you guys this because I want you guys to be able to do it. If you don't want to buy a juicer, if you don't mind getting your hands all messy and stuff. That being said, if you guys have the money, I would encourage you guys to buy a juicer because then you wouldn't have to do all this, and this is all this stuff to clean and splashing juice everywhere. But check this celery juice out. This is probably one of the healthiest celery juices you guys could make without buying a slow juicer right here, right? Look at that color, nice vibrant color, just as if it came out of one of my slow juicers. Wow, that's delicious. Now, that being said, I am going to run this pulp through a slow juicer because it'll probably extract even more juice than I was just able to squeeze out with my own hands, providing me more of the beneficial celery juice. I think that's pretty much it for this episode. If you guys enjoyed this episode, learning about how to make the highest quality celery juice, hey, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Also, be sure to share this video with other people on a medical medium, celery juice kick, so they can learn the best way. Share it on the Facebook group, share it on your Facebook, share it on your Instagram, share it all over so that more people can have the knowledge they need to get healthier by processing their produce in the best way possible. And that's all what I'm about. I have all kinds of juicers and equipment that I play with on a regular and consistent basis to make my own celery juice, and I just want to share that with you guys. So yes, you can make celery juice with or without a blender and without a juicer. Yeah, your teeth, definitely the best way. If you don't want to hassle with that, food processor next best way after buying a juicer. Now, the last thing I want to tell you guys is, you know, if you guys don't want to buy a new juicer, don't have the money for a new juicer, that's all right, right? Check your local Craigslist. So people that have well-meaning intentions, they might want a juice, they buy a juicer, and then they sell it on their local Craigslist or OfferUp for literally pennies on the dollar. So you guys can get, you know, a high-quality juicer at a low-quality price. I want to encourage you guys to watch out for inexpensive juicers. You know, most of the juicers that I've tested made in China, they will sometimes put plastic in your juice. They will break, wear out sooner rather than later. There's no warranty, and then basically you're just disposing of it. So I want you guys to invest in a high-quality juicer like the ones in the links down below. And also make sure you check the links in the description for my juicer channel, where I go into the best juicer for juicing celery, as well as many different comparisons against slow juicers, vacuum blenders, and all that kind of stuff, all right? The other thing I want you guys to do is click that subscribe button right down below if you like this episode, like the information it contained, like how it's going to help you to take your health to the next level. Click the subscribe, click the bell so you guys get notified of my new and upcoming episodes. You never know what you'll be learning or what new food you'll be learning about on my channel that can help you improve your life. And finally, be sure to check my past episodes. My past episodes are a wealth of knowledge, over 500 episodes at this time on this YouTube channel dedicated to teach you guys all the beneficial powers of the fresh fruits and fresh vegetables and how to get more of them into your life so you guys could shine. All right? So with that, my name is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. We'll see you next time, and until then, remember, keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables, including the celery juice. They're always the best.